Grandma.
Yeah, and that was his mission. I mean, he was loved. Yeah.
All right, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Senate Standing Committee on Mental Health and Developmental Disabilities Committee meeting. I am Chairman Senator Rob Orr. I will call the meeting to order. I want to acknowledge and thank my colleagues who are here, Senator Liz Kruger, Senator Rivera, and my colleague Senator Simca Felder.
Thank you.
So thank you for being here. Without further ado, we will start into the agenda. First bill on the committee agenda is Senate Bill 1124, sponsored by Senator Carlucci. This bill will be referred to Finance.
To provide a right to counsel for individuals who are recipients of OMH or OPWDD services and are interviewed as part of the Justice Center investigation.
Move the bill.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Jeannie?
I have Senator Murphy and Senator Serino is without rec.
Okay. All right, the bill is moved and we report it to Finance. Senate Bill 1907, sponsored by Senator Parker, which will also be referred to Finance.
Allows legal assistance to patients or residents of a residential health care facility, including nursing homes who have been admitted directly from a psychiatric center.
Move the bill.
Move the bill.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Yay.
Jeannie, any opposed?
I have Senator Ort, Senator Hannan, and Senator Serino without rec.
All right. The bill is moved and reported to Finance. Senate Bill 2466 Alpha, sponsored by Senator Ritchie.
Referred to Finance would create standardized training for employees at developmental disability facilities.
Is there a motion with the bill?
Yes, sir.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Senator Serino without rec.
The bill will be reported to Finance. Senate Bill 2644 Alpha, sponsored by Senator Parker. This bill will be referred to Finance as well.
Would establish a crisis intervention team program for the city of New York.
Motion with the bill?
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Senator Ort without rec, Senator Murphy without rec, Senator Serino is a no, and Senator Seward is a no.
Okay. The bill is moved and will be reported to Finance. Senate Bill 3659 Alpha, sponsored by Senator Ort, which will be referred to Finance.
Requires a report regarding state workforce need projections and credential production for direct support professionals.
Motion with the bill?
Question?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Is it specifically for employment in the state agencies serving people with disabilities, or is it also in the not-for-profit sector?
For both. I believe it's for both industries.
Okay, thank you. That's a better answer.
Yeah, it certainly is. Any opposed?
Without rec.
Without rec?
And no one
Okay.
else is without rec.
The bill is moved and be referred to Finance. Let's see. Senate Bill 3661, sponsored by Senator Ort.
Would allow each state agency to establish unique guidance documents with regard to the Justice Center.
Move the bill.
Move the bill?
Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, Jeannie? No. All right, the bill is moved. Senate Bill 5272, sponsored by Senator Ort. This will be referred to Finance.
Requires a child who is certified by the pre-admission committee and is waiting for placement should have the rights to mental health services for which they are eligible.
Question.
Yes.
How does it work with other disabilities? People who have other disabilities who are seeking beds and there are no beds around. Is the law the same?
Currently, if you are on a, say, waiting list for a facility, you are not receiving treatment. This would just create an exemption for children, so adults still would be in the same boat.
My question, I'm sorry I wasn't clear. My question is, this applies to those with emotionally disturbed children. I'm asking with other disabilities.
Other physical disabilities.
Yes, is the law the same?
They also would not be receiving treatment.
So why should, I mean, maybe it's not the mental health committee, but why shouldn't maybe the sponsor would be willing to sponsor another bill for kids with other disabilities that would mimic this bill.
Well, certainly, or my learned colleague can also sponsor. I'd be happy to entertain.
He's not here, that's why I'm asking you.
You are. Yeah, no, that's certainly, I think, as you know, there's a lot of other bills that we can look at to try and make this area of the law. I think when it comes to, particularly for children, whether it's mental health or developmental disabilities, but particularly mental health, there's a lot of lacking as far as children's mental health services, and a lot more that we can do and we should do. So this was one area, but your point to sort of make it more robust for children of all disabilities, I think is a very fair point, and I don't think would have any opposition, certainly within the committee, to something like that. So your point is well made, and perhaps we can work on something together on that.
I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
I have an additional question. I support the bill, but it talks about providing them the services prior to their being in residential placement. Is there a specific list of what those services they ought to be eligible for are?
It would be commensurate with their disability, so whatever, it would be the wide range.
So there's actually somewhere in existing regs the protocol for what services should be provided if I'm a child with X mental health issue. If I was in residence, there would be A, B, C, D
Correct.
services, and those are somewhere. So now we're saying that the commissioner is responsible for ensuring that on an outpatient basis in the community.
It would be up to, the bill doesn't specify whether it be outpatient or at another facility while they await placement. So it would be up to the commissioner to decide that for each individual.
And just clarify me what you meant when you said another facility, so...
Let's say they're waiting residential placement at one, let's say a not-for-profit, but they have a local state facility that they could go to receive services at. It would be up to the commissioner to decide whether they should receive them at another not-for-profit in their area or at the state facility.
And this bill is clearly mandating this, but do we know, does this happen now at all? Do they just say you're on a waiting list, too bad?
More often than not, yes. And a lot of times, there's that gap in service. And so what we're trying to say is that while they're awaiting placement, they need to be getting service whether in the community or another facility or whatever. So I think it makes it more of a robust system.
I do too. I have one additional
Yeah.
follow-up question. So, right now, you are pre-certified and you enter some period of time's waiting list to get residential placement. Is there a reason for us to be concerned that if we pass this law and mandate that services have to be provided if you're in that, I call it the Dante's Inferno ring of hell, where you've been pre-certified but you can't get the residence? Would there be a motivation then, in fact, for the state to delay pre-certifying? Because they know they don't have residential slots available for the next 100 kids. Hence, if they don't pre-certify them, then they're not obligated under this law to provide the services. I'm just a little worried that the bureaucracy of the world will say, well, we don't want to find ourselves in the position under Senator Ort's law where we have to provide services non-residential, so let's not even pre-certify until we have slots available. Is there, maybe I'm just paranoid about how government sometimes responds to problems.
Oh, I wouldn't say you're paranoid. This stuff from the tax spending was you know, I think that, you know, as we all know, is whenever you pass a law, very often there is some sort of a reaction in relation to that law, certainly from the bureaucracy. Sometimes it's hard to say what it will be. I would say in that event, we're probably not worse, because right now they're waiting for treatment, so you're not necessarily worse off. I certainly would hope that wouldn't happen, and I think it bears at least monitoring.
Maybe I can
to see-
ask your staff to take a look at what the regs actually say about timelines
Oh,
and
pre-certification.
pre-certification.
Sure.
Because I absolutely support your bill. I think it's
Sure.
very important that we're getting these children's services ASAP. I just don't want an unintended consequence from your legislation
Yep.
to be that the bureaucracy says, well, then I guess we're just not going to get those pre-certs done.
Right,
Because
right.
it starts the bell on something else we're not sure we're ready to do.
Sure, sure.
So
That's a very fair point. I think we can look at if there's any timeframes regarding pre-certification, or maybe we can look at that to sort of.
I'm
close
sure,
that
like you and my other senators here, we hear from families who are desperate for a residential placement,
Absolutely.
and they're either on wait lists, and this is the OPWDD and the OMH world, or they're on pretend wait lists, or real wait lists, or who knows what the wait lists are. Except we know that they're desperate for the residential placement.
Yes.
And I would hate to envision that we then learn that the state of New York delayed pre-certs, because that would trigger
Sure.
things from happening. That was
Sure.
my point.
Yeah, no, and that's, and that's certainly a valid concern. And I think, one of the, when we talked about too, the other services, one of the things that I've found is, people that are families that are looking for residential placements, sometimes they actually prefer or could live with community supports.
Right, if they were
But
provided
they
the
were
option.
provided, right,
Exactly.
the option, so they would prefer that, but they're not there, so they just go to the residential. So I think, having those more available, or requiring that they're available, would be a step in the right direction. But your concern that you raise is not unfounded, based on bureaucratic responses to other laws that we've passed before, so. If there's not any other comments,
No, everything's good.
okay, the bill is moved, that bill will be referred to finance. The last bill on the agenda will be Senate Bill 6916, sponsored by Senator Ort. Joe?
This legislation will require the Commissioner of Mental Health to report to the legislature the number of assaults by persons resulting in injury within the state's 4 forensic facilities.
And does everyone know what the forensic facilities are? Is there a motion to move the bill?
Motion?
All right. Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the bill is moved. Is there any other further comment? We have all everybody's sheets. Thank you. There's no further comments or questions. I want to thank my colleagues for being here this morning, and that will conclude this committee meeting on...
Oh, I'm sorry. Were there
I
two
knew
more
there had to be
bills? On my voting sheet, were there 2 additional bills below that? 5272 and 6916? Did they get taken off?
We just did those.
We already did them.
Yeah.
That was so fast.
5272
Okay.
was the one we just...
Oh, right, was the one we're discussing. I'm sorry, I got thrown off. Never mind.
That's okay. That's all right. That was an easy answer to the question. Thank you guys very much. I
Thank you.
appreciate it. I want to say, Senator Fowler, you have been, I think, at every meeting of this committee,
I don't,
the entire session.
I should shut my mouth.
That's not true.
But it's not accurate. I've been here many times when there was no meeting.
And you conduct your own meeting. Well, I want to thank all you guys for being here. Thank you.
Thank you.
I try.
And
Those
that's
go
just-
very well for you, don't they?
Yeah, yeah.